Hey guys, welcome to the channel. It's Adam with ND72. So today, we got more SLK fun. So you saw in the last couple videos, we did some long tube headers to it, which added some more power. We did a few open and box, and today we're going to be installing one of those open box kind of things that we did. So as you remember, I got basically RPF1 rims. They're 17-inch rims. They're rocking 255 R888 tires. They're not a bad tire, they're a sticky tire. But after the headers, I now spin doing 20 rolls, like, pretty bad. And when I go to the drag strip, if the track is kind of crappy, like the one that's not going to say, but in, like, the tamper area, the track has not been that good for me. So I'm going to have to go with a sticker tire and a little bit of fatter tire. And a lot of people have been asking if you could do this. So I'm going to show you what I got planned for and what we're going to be doing today. So like I said, right now, these are basically RPF1s, which are pretty light, not a bad rim. R888's pretty sticky, not the best. The rotors and stuff I got are basically just SLK32 stuff. Drilled and slotted, nothing really too crazy. It sucks because those are pretty new. But now, what we're going to put on here are these rims are from Jegs. They are a 15-inch by 8, and the tire that's on them is a 275 drag radial Nitto 555 R2s. So this is pretty sticky tire. It's easy for me to get, like literally this tire. I could call up Discount Tires today and get another one. They keep them in stock at my local place, and they're inexpensive. So they're easy to get, they're inexpensive, and they're pretty sticky. Now, 2 ways about doing this. So in this video, I'm going to show you 2 ways, hopefully 2 ways, to get these put onto your SLK32 and your Chrysler Crossfire, because they're basically the same car. So I've already tested it. These rims and tires will fit factory. You can put them right up there with a 15mm spacer. They clear. Now, the disadvantage to that is, I'm going to show you right here. So I'll show you at once when you put them on, but basically they will poke a little bit too far. And when you do no spacers, they hit the caliber. So, yes, you probably could find a rim with like a little bit of a different offset, and it might clear better. But hopefully what we're going to do today will work, and it'll make it so you have a more variety of rims. And you should light up a couple LBs doing this the same way. So hopefully what we got on this table will help us out. So what we got is some eBay used calibers from an SLK320. So these are the same. They're both 2 pistons, just like on the SLK32. But the actual caliber is thinner. Now, the reason they're thinner is because the SLK320 uses solid 10mm rotors. SLK32 uses vented 20mm rotors, so it's basically 10mm bigger. So this should suck us in 10 mils more. And if I did my math right, this should be a little bit of a lighter setup. We're going to pull everything off and weigh everything. And also, I just got some generic, like, ceramic pads. I didn't want to spend too much money on the rotor and pads this whole setup because I'm not sure if it's going to work. And if it doesn't work, I didn't want to be out $500. This whole setup right here cost me right around $100 shipped to the house. Rotors and pads were about like 60, and these were like roughly another 30. Granted, they did come with pads. I could have just reused the pads, but I didn't want to do that. So these are supposed to have a warranty on them. They're supposed to be tested and fitted, and these calibers come with basically everything I really need, maybe a little bit extra. And then I just got some Super DOT4 to do a big flush on it after, because we'll be cracking brake lines. Also, what we got is just some Mobile One. I got a question for everyone. So by me, Mobile 1040 used to be really easy. You go to Walmart, you could get it for like, I don't know, 23, 24 bucks. It took me 3 or 4 months to try to find this at Walmart. And the only reason I was able to get it today is because I went up there, I tried to buy it, they said they didn't have any, and as I'm walking away, they have boxes. They had 1 box left in that whole Ceram thing where they're about to put on the display. This stuff's become harder to find than a goth girl who likes cars. Like, even ordering this offline, unless you want to pay like $40, $50 for 1 jug, it's very hard for me to find, at least in my area of Florida. So, I mean, throw in the comments if you guys know of a good place in Central Florida, that area, to kind of get it for basically a Walmart price. Granted, I could probably go to AutoZone and spend $39 for it, but Walmart, it's like $15 cheaper. Try to save a little bit of money because I have all these cars that use it. So today we scored just 1 box, which is 3 of them, so that was a good find for me. We're going to start by lifting the car up, pulling off just this rim, and I'm going to show you how you can mount that tire and rim with no modifications, factory car. Alright, so what we got right here is a 15mm spacer. Yes, this car already has studs on it, but you could just do this without studs. Like, I just like studs. I did a video on this conversion. It opens up so much, like, area of just conveniency for you. So we got a 15 millimeter space right there. We're going to throw the rim on, which is over there. I'm going to lower it and show you. See, this is how exactly I know it was rubbing when it was sticking two out. You can see I got rub marks all over here from rocking this tires out for one day. That's why I want to suck it in more. But I'm just going to show you just so you know. All right, one thing to note, so this is with the 15 millimeter spacer. If you can look right down there, you have about 2 mil clearance between here and this SLK32 caliber. Spins, doesn't hit. When we lower it, you can even just see from right here, you can see how much poke it's going to have out. I'll lower it and show you. See the poke? Now, if your car wasn't as low as mine, I'm not even really that much lower, like literally just a teeny bit modified the suspension. You'd probably be good, but when I actually hit it, these cars hook up and my body transfers weight so good that I just rub right here. So I want to suck it in more, so then the fitment's a little bit better. And I'm hoping 10 mil should do it, because you could just see like right there, 10 mil should hit the curvature of it, and we should be good. So just to show you a little bit, the studs weren't really doing anything. I took my studs out. You put a 5 Allen there to break that one off that holds the rotor on. You're gonna, if I could get a camera back in here, you're gonna break this line loose, and then these bolts to pull the caliber off. This should be a 16, and then you are able to swing everything out of the way and start changing things over. All right, so we got the 2 bolts out of the back already done. We got the bottom one that's finger tight right now. We got the brake line broken, which was a 14, and then we're gonna bust the caliber out and spin it off. And I got a little drip bucket under here so I don't make too much of a mess. And we're going to keep this hardware because it should be the same bolts. So this comes right out. I'm going to throw that bolt there. And then to get these off, it's easy if you just spin the caliber like this. That's how I like to do it. There might be like 500 different ways. And then we are going to weigh this caliber and see what it compares with everything to the other stuff. Yeah, ooh, almost dropped it. So let this drip down. So here's the 32 one. And then we're going to go grab the other one and just kind of like mock it up. I'm going to pull this rotor off though, that way we don't have to worry about that pads. So I'm going to do a mini clean to that caliber too. So we got the smaller rotor, and like holy crap, this is a lot smaller. This caliber slims in. So I've already found one issue, which we're going to try to fix it, but I just want to, before I start cutting and modifying anything, I want to make sure everything actually fits better. So now as you can see this caliber, I'm going to show you like side by side. We're just going to do it really quick. I just want to throw it up there and see. Oh shit. Alright. Ah! My bad. Forgot that light was even in there. Let's try that again. Light up. Okay. So far, perfect. Alright, so remember this is with no spacer. So in theory, this is 13 millimeters closer, tucked in more. If this will go on and not hit anything. Let's see. Whoa! Perfect. That sound is just a little bit of rubbing. We don't have everything fully tight, but the caliber should clear perfectly. And if not, I'm going to show you a little up close. If it shifts a little bit when I tighten it up, I can put like a 3 mil spacer, and that still will bring it 10 millimeter in. Oh yeah, that's going to be pretty good. So I'm going to take the wheel off. I'm going to show you what modification I have to do because I kind of effed up on one part buying, and I'll show you the comparison of all the parts. Alright, so as you can see, there's a huge difference in these, which come off of 320, which are solid, and these which come off of 32, which are vane. So even if you just compare size quality, like, that is a huge difference. These I found out are 7.3 millimeter wide, and these are right at 19 and change wide. So that's a huge difference in basically surface area. Like, you could just look over here and tell. Like, that's a big difference. Now, the benefit of that, like we said, we could put different wheel and tire setup. So now we're going to look at the calibers. So factory to factory, I don't know if you could tell. I might have to get the measuring device out, but it is a good 13 to 14 millimeter sucked in. Now, the other thing I just found out, if you look at how much meat is right there and over here, because they had to basically put enough meat over there to space it out to get that little bit extra. So our bolts aren't going to work now. But we're going to weigh all this stuff and see what our weight savings is. So we got the scale. I'm going to see if I could try to do this with the camera in hand. If not, I'll just have to tell you what the outcome is. So, gosh, because this scale just keeps shutting off. I hate the scale. I need to get a new one. So rotors were at 15 lbs. And then caliber with pads, we are at, let's see if we'll even register this. So we got 15 there and 7.6 there. So that's 21.6 for factory SLK32. I'll take that back. Not exactly factory because my rotors were drilled and slotted. But still, 15 plus 6, so yeah, 21.6. If I did that math right, I think I forgot already. So let's just say 21.6 for that setup right there. Now we'll weigh the non-drilled and slotted SLK321. All right, we got the scale all zeroed out. Let's see what rotor it is. 7.8. And whole pad caliber setup, 6.2. So my scale is not the best. We're just giving average numbers, so that's roughly like 14 and change. So we'll say a good like 6-7 pounds of rotational weight for each side. So that's going to be roughly like, what, 12, 13 rotational weight for the rear, which that'll help us be a little bit more zippy off the line. And I don't think it's going to affect the braking too much. I mean, I don't really like go too hardcore on the brakes on this car. But if they are too bad, then I will just basically go back, or I'll upgrade these ones, because there are upgrades, because I did it with my death cart. So there are upgrades for the SLK 320 stuff that'll keep it that kind of small size. So let's throw these on and make sure everything else works. All right, just so you, this is with the proper hardware. I'll show you what hardware was. So the proper hardware, and this is just no pads, but like perfect, nothing. So now we're actually tightened up and all that stuff. The rotor and everything's on. We're going to drop it and actually see if it sucks in more. And it already looks like it did. Oh, yeah. We are golden now. So now even when it sinks in, hopefully if I'm wrong, or hopefully I'm not wrong, it should basically just like go maybe the curb and not like the top of the wheel anymore. That's pretty, that fitment looks pretty good right there. So we're going to put it up and actually finish the job. I'm going to show you what bolts I used. And then we'll go for a test drive. Okay, as you see, we got it all bolted up and all good to go. Everything's torqued down, everything. We just got to bleed the system now. So I was going to tell you about the bolts. So the factory bolts on the SLK32, these are M1.5s. So, I mean, M10s, 1.5s. So what you need is basically 20 millimeters smaller than this, which comes up to be about a 20 mil. So just before you do this job, just order some factory SLK 320 bolts, and you're done with it. They should be relatively cheap. I had to go to the hardware store, look for this, look for that. I'm 90% sure. I got stainless steel hardware on here, but I'm just going to order the factory bolts and just later on down the road switch them out just for peace of mind. But make sure you do that. It should be an easy thing to find and get from Mercedes the dealer. Not that expensive. But we're going to bleed the system now, and then throw the rims on and go, drop it down, and see how it actually looks after the car settles for a little bit. Dang, the fitment's looking pretty tucked in. Like, not bad at all. Like, night and effing day. So this should have been 15 millimeters in more. So it's definitely looking nice. I want to drive around for a while on it and see if I suck in or rub or anything like that. But really happy with it. And the 275/50s are looking pretty sweet. So we're going to pull it out. We're going to do just drive around, check the brakes, check everything, make sure nothing stupid's happening. And then we'll probably bring it back in and check the tightness again. Alright guys, so we've been driving the car around with the new brakes and the drag radials and the tires and all that stuff. So far, stops really well. No like fade, no nothing. We've been doing some pretty hard 140 mile an hour pulls when we went to Mexico, and really no issue. It stops perfectly fine. The tires, no rubbing, no nothing really that I could see or notice. Definitely a bit sinking in. I don't see any really more wear over here, and I try to clean it off really well. I'm not seeing anything notice, and it feels like it hooks up. Like, the car's a lot more fun. So what we're gonna do now, we're gonna go take it out. I got my GoPro over there. We're gonna head over to Mexico really quick and just try to do some pulls and try to kind of see how the car squats over that tire and make sure that I have enough clearance and all that stuff. But let's go see. All right, we're driving around right now. I got a Adam Vision helmet on right now, so the voice might sound a little weird. We're gonna try to put a little bit of heat in the tires and then do a few pulls. Try to put a little heat. Alright, now we'll turn around here in Mexico and see if we can hit something good. Alright, we're here in Mexico right now. We did like a very little bit of heat in the tire. We're gonna wait a little bit. Check my, I don't know if you can see in the camera, my GoPro's still out there. We'll floor it on like a little pull right here and get some heat. Well, even with no heat, this car still, it's looking pretty good right now. All right, and it's 80 degrees outside. Let's see if we can do 20. Oh yeah. That was a little 20 pull with 60. We'll try to do one teeny little bit more one. Oh yeah. So we did a couple pulls. I don't really see it hitting the tire no more. No more rubbing, no nothing. The car definitely hooks up a lot better. Now, if I put a lot more heat in these tires, I probably would dead hook. But oh my God, it is so much nicer. Granted, it was in Mexico. It's like 80 degrees out, but the car did pretty well. All right, so we got the new wheels and tires on there, and wow, they make it look, first of all, I think they look pretty cool. I might have to get a matching set up front for when I go to the drag strip, but also the tire setup just hooks so much better. So I'm very happy about it, and I've been driving around. So far, I found no issue with the braking system, like I said. And just to give a quick little once-over again, so the brakes I got, the calibers are from a SLK32. It should be the same ones as a SLK230, and then you just get the pads and rotors that match up. Just make sure that you get all the hardware. That's, like I said, where I messed up. I did not get the right hardware. And even if you don't, you can order it from FCP Euro. They're $1.50. Just order 4 of the bolts. It's very cheap and very inexpensive. And everything else just literally bolts right on, as you can see. Make sure you guys bleed your brakes properly. And also, this is a disclaimer. So when installing different brakes and or rims, ND72 is not liable for anything that may happen if you install them improperly. I'm just showing this as an example of what I did. Not telling you have to do it, not saying that you should or should not do it. Please understand that ND72 is not liable for anything that happens if you brake malfunction by buying used calibers. Okay, now that's that said. So far, I'm super happy with my setup. I like it. If you guys like this video, throw a comment down, throw a like down. Message me on Instagram at BuffyCLK500. I'll try to help anyone out with any questions they have, and have a good day. Maybe.